the first ship I went on to was a battleship. HMS Ramillies.
At 15, you were on a battleship?
No, I was 17 then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Is this when you joined the war now, or?
No. Well,
or
no, the war...
no,
I was 16, that's right. I was 16. 16, and I went to HMS Ramillies. Whackabus, there was quite a few boys on that, and that was rough and all. They got us up every morning at about 5:30, winter and summer, and scrubbed the deck in your bare feet.
Really?
Oh. In the winter it was terrible, your feet,
They
it was
freeze.
frozen, yeah.
So, were the decks still wood? They weren't iron?
No, you had a long broom, stiff broom.
Yeah.
And all in line, get in the line along with that battleship's a big ship,
Yeah.
big decks.
But wasn't it iron?
No, well,
The deck
some
was
parts,
wood. Yeah.
some parts
Yeah.
were iron, but like the forecastle, that's the front part of the ship, but all your anchors and cables, that's iron.
Yeah.
But the midships and the quarter deck, the aft deck, was all wooden.
Oh, God.
And we had every morning scrub that. Oh, terrible job, yeah.
Yeah.
The rest of the crew never got up until about 7.
Really? So what were you classified on there as? Like a cadet?
Seaman boy.
A seaman boy.
Seaman
So were
boy.
you continuing a formal education, or was it all just strictly seaman?
No, this was all then. Yeah, you were learning all the time about seamanship and everything else, you know. Every little thing. Yeah. And you went. When I joined it, I was a second class seaman boy.
Yeah.
And then when I went on the battleship, after about 6 months on there, you graduated up to first class seaman boy. And
Did you ever wonder why you had joined it? Did you ever wish you...
no, funny enough, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was tough and hard, but it taught you discipline.
Yes.
It taught you, far even better than that, it taught you the comradeship. And that even today I miss the comradeship.
Yeah.
The bunch of guys all together
Yeah.
through tough and good times, and you know, it bound you. You know.
Yeah.
And and then I came off that ship and I joined the cruiser HMS Southampton. And then I was just not quite 17.
Yeah. And were you actually now a formal sailor, or
And I was a first class boy.
You were still a boy?
Seaman boy.
Until 17?
And no, to 18 officially.
Until 18, yeah.
Officially.
Okay. Yeah.
And you had your own mess, for boys' mess.
Yeah.
And our instructor who looked after us was the physical training instructor. And he was pretty strict with us all. You know. And because you can imagine, 100 boys on a ship with all these men, eh? And some of them were very... And but I was, even in those days, I suppose I got a bit of a reputation because I wanted to be a physical training instructor.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I was hoping to do. And I trained for that at the training establishment as well, in the gymnasium there. And I used to keep very fit, you know, I used to do all sorts of things, you know, keeping fit. And I carried that on when I went on the ships in the evening. So I got a bit, the guys seeing me up there all the time, you know, I was either boxing or eating a punch bag or wrestling with somebody, or we used to do stupid things like climb out the mast, hanging by our feet from the yard arms, you know, 50, 60 foot up, all this sort of stupid things used to get up to. And we got, I suppose I got a bit of a reputation, not only me, but a couple of other guys, you know, boy. Because when you, the war broke out then, and I was not quite, I was 17 and a half, and they made us ordinary seamen straight away at 17 and a half. So, if you like, they brought the age of 18 forward a bit.
Right.
And, well, I've been in it then, what, 2.5 years, yeah. And I was going to say then, one of the things that happened when you came out of the boys' mess deck and went into the forward part where all the men were, you graduated as an ordinary seaman, as they called it. they used to have an initiation ceremony. Oh boy.
Oh yeah, what happened?
Oh God, the things you do, you're terrible.
Oh, you better tell just a couple.
Oh God. They used to strip you naked. They didn't do it to me, fortunately, because I've got this bit of a reputation. Strip you naked and put a what's the name up your backside, you know, what do you call it?
I don't know.
No, for pouring things in.
For pouring things in?
Yeah,
A bucket?
No, not a bucket.
A hose. Oh, funnel.
Funnel.
Oh.
Yeah. And they tip things up their backsides and all this sort of thing, and give just
Hannah.
hilarious sort of things.
Oh my goodness.
And then you were initiated as an ordinary seaman into amongst the men. But they didn't do that to me, because I was a bit of a handful.
Did you get anything? Did they do anything?
No. I was accepted okay straight away.
Very good.
But, and that was, it was a great ship, that was. We was on it for quite, well, something and a half. When the war broke out, it was 17, wasn't it? That's right, 1939. And that's the ship that came out of Canada, just before the war, and America and the States, on the World Tour, where the King and Queen
the King
came
and
out.
Queen.
Right, yeah.
And was that when you carried the bullion?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Before we left the cruise that I was on, the Southampton was what we call a flotilla leader. There was a number of cruises all named after cities. They called them city clubs, like Southampton, the Belfast, which is more than a Thames there, Newcastle, and so on, you know. And we were the flagship. We had an admiral on board our ship. And before we left Portsmouth to go on the tour, to go to the Canada and the States, we loaded up all the gold bullion. And I can remember I must have carried millions of pounds of gold. One by one, loaded it in the ship.
But was that the mint? Like they
Yeah.
were moving the gold out of the country?
They
in case
expected the war, you see, to happen.
And
And they were safeguarding the gold bullion of the
did
country.
you guys know that? That must have been such a closely guarded secret.
Oh, it was. And I was telling Shannon about this down at the club. I've never read or seen any record of that happening.
Yeah.
But when we loaded it up in Southampton, on board, there was just a few policemen dotted around the dockyard. And we unloaded it in New York.
Yeah.
And what a difference. The whole place was surrounded with police machine guns on backs of lorries and everything else there.
Oh, wow.
Well, that was somebody else's gold they were suddenly responsible for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
well, if even a whisper of that had got out,
Oh,
you'd have
God,
been, you'd have had...
Yeah.
But the King and Queen went on that same ship, were they?
No, they went on the big...
Yeah.
I've forgotten the name of the ship that was. I've got a certificate at home with that on, with the names of all the places we went.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Signed by the King and Queen. Yeah. Certificate at home for that.
I hope Hannah's little noises don't turn into your cake.